Hi, today I'm going to show you how I DIY the bokeh blur with Olive Editor. This is very useful, especially when you want to post-edit your mobile footage. Here you can compare the footage before and after bokeh blur is applied. Make it 0 and you'll see no blur. Now change it back to 1, you see the blur there. To create it, Ctrl-I to import a clip. Look up for the footage, hit enter to bring to our project, and drag to the timeline. My footage is upside down, so I click the clip and move up to transform to tweak the rotation. My experience is set the rotation to 180. As you can see, the original footage has no blur behind. So we need to select the clip, right-click, and unlink the video and audio so that they can be tweaked separately. Now duplicate the video with Ctrl-C, hit down arrow, and Ctrl-V to paste the video. Then move the clip on top. I usually move the clip up one track so that I can insert a blank layer underneath. What I'm going to do is cutting out the background, and I'll see the red background underneath. So, click the video on top, add video effects, go to distort and select crop. Then you can play around with the crop setting to select the area you want to cut out. You don't need to be too concerned with the detail. As long as it looks good on the screen, that's okay. You can move out the red layer and see the original background. Roll in the solid layer and you'll see the red coming back. The red layer is just helping you spot the blur area. Move back to crop and add keyframes. You can also hide the effect if you want. Go to Community and add Bokeh Blur. Other effects are okay, but here I'm just testing out Bokeh Blur. Here you see that the subject is blurred instead of the background. When you slide in the red, you'll notice I blurred the subject. So what I need to do is going to clip and invert inside crop. Now my face is covered in red and the background is blurred. When I move out the red, my face becomes clear. Here you see a little edge around my face. To remove it, select the top layer and tweak feather. The lower the feather value, the more obvious the edge becomes. When you increase the feather value, the edge is more blurry. Now it's much smoother. You might need a little bit more of Finetune. It depends on the background. Go back to the top clip. You'll see the keyframe. Hit up arrow and you're back to the start of the clip. To enable movement, simply add dots to the beginning keyframe. Make sure the two keyframes are different. I set the first keyframe to 0. Now I'm at the first keyframe and you'll see no blur behind. When I play, the edge fades out. When you go back to crop, you see the increasing blur. Here you see a little edge slowly fading out. If you want a smoother fade out, simply move the dots closer to the previous keyframes. Then, add keyframes at the back. Hit left arrow to the previous keyframes and slide in and out to adjust fade out speed. The key element is feather. The higher the feather, the more blurry the edge. Here I still see the edge, so I bump up feather to get rid of it. Feather is 0 here, so no blur here. It gets much smoother now. Here I'm going to put 90 for feather. Let's see what I get. Now I want more blurriness here. Select the top clip. Increase the blur value. Just be aware, too much blur here. You can also make progressive blur. Simply add keyframes to blur. Follow the previous keyframes by either forward arrow and add dots here. Switching feather value back and forth to determine the blurriness you want. Align to the previous keyframes and you notice the blur. If you want moving blur, you need to go from the third keyframe to the end. Since there isn't end frame, you need to click down arrow to the end of the clip, or scrub through the timeline. Add dot at the end frame. Let's see what we get. Let's take a closer look. The blur is still there. It now gets more blurry. Take out the blurry layer and you can compare with the original. Roll back and view the end result. It's just like Photoshop with two layers. The top one is blur, the bottom is clear. The cloud layer is for alignment. It's totally up to you. So that's it. Hopefully it helps. Thanks for watching.